Hey everybody. So this week, Thursday night, Friday, Purim, the holiday of Purim, and a little bit unusual this year, it kind of runs right into Shabbat. Doesn't happen too often that. The Megillah that we read, or that we've read, depending on when you're watching this, is not the shortest book. Not so short. It takes about a half hour to read it. That's even without the noise making and such. And one of the reasons it's not so short is because at a number of different times in the Megillah, we get tremendous amount of detail. Like, for instance, at the very, very beginning, when it describes Achashverosh's feast, it gives us all the details of how beautiful, luxurious it was, the type of food, the type of drink. People could drink whatever they wanted. And so, very nice, and that gives a certain sense of what's going on, but I would suggest there's something a little bit more going on. And, for instance, when Vashti doesn't show up and Achashverosh is very, very upset, what does he do? It's not like a personal matter that he sorts out with his wife or maybe deals with a marriage therapist. No, he calls in his advisors. And there's this whole bureaucratic thing of what should we do, and this is not a good example because then women won't respect their husbands. And they do this law and promulgations, and they send it out to everybody that this is not the way women should treat their husbands. It's kind of weird that they become very bureaucratic about something like that. And then we also see a similar bureaucracy involved when Haman and Achashverosh come and convinces Achashverosh to get rid of the Jews. Also, we get all the details of the bureaucracy of getting the word out to all the different lands and such. And even at the end, it's the same type of thing when the Jewish people are given permission to defend themselves. Also, we get details of the bureaucracy, the edicts written in every language according to everyone's different languages in the very vast Persian kingdom. What's the point here? You see, it's telling us that it was a very bureaucratic society. Persia was at that time. Contrast that to the two heroes of the story. Because you have Mordechai, on the one hand, who refuses to bow down to Haman, which sets this whole thing in motion. He doesn't follow protocol. Bureaucracies are very exact and specific, and you got to follow all the rules. Mordechai gets the whole thing started because he doesn't follow the rules. And then the same thing in terms of Esther. When Mordechai comes to Esther and says, hey, listen, you got to go to the king and plead on behalf. She says, citing their bureaucracy, we don't have the normal marriage over here. You can't just show up to the king. There's rules and regulations even within their marriage. And so he convinces her to do it. So she breaks protocol. Just like Mordechai did, she breaks protocol. And that sets in motion saving the Jewish people. And it's a contrast between how Jews behave oftentimes and the rest of the world. We don't stick to protocol. We think outside the box. We don't care about protocol, especially when it comes to saving Jewish lives. There was a very, very recent example of this. Bibi Netanyahu, the prime minister, he was told by the United States, by Biden, by all of the Western world, the whole world at large, how they should deal with Gaza, how they should deal with Lebanon, and he bucked the system. Thank God he didn't listen to them. They tried to hold him back. No. We don't follow protocol when it comes to Jewish lives. And he ignored Biden. And it was risky. Just like it was risky with Esther and certainly with Mordechai. Nevertheless, he took the chance and as a result saved countless of lives. You got to know when not to listen to bureaucracy. You got to know when not to follow protocol. And certainly, when it comes to saving Jewish lives, out the window, do what you got to do to save Jewish lives. Rules and regulations be damned. Happy Purim, and have a good Shabbat.